All right.
Do you end it with a snapper?
Yeah, and then like it dings at the end.
I love it.
That's dope.
That's so cute.
And then as we pack up, of course, I'll have like 3 more questions will suddenly pop up and be like, why didn't I ask that? But
Yeah.
here we are.
That's awesome. You go no paper. I can't do that.
Yeah, this is dope.
And I had no chance to like make notes either. So
Yeah.
I'm like, and we're done. Cool. Let's go sit down and talk. Shooting with your friends using what you have, when you can, is the origin story of all good indie filmmaking. The creators of The Novel did just that, and produced a masterpiece. From the irresistible writing, to the oppressive cinematography, from the foreboding soundtrack, to the vicious performances, The Novel drew me in, pulled my strings, and sucker punched my sanity. The writer and director Kellen Gibbs was unable to join us, so instead, I got to sit down with the 2 lead actors, Jordan Knapp and Caprice Colvin. We dove into the truly team effort it took to put this film together over sleepless nights and disjointed schedules, how teasing out their characters' inner darkness took them on an unfamiliar journey, and how little hope, a lot of trust, and a dash of madness coalesced into this gloriously sinister piece of indie magic. And with that, please enjoy the show. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Today we have a treat with the two lead actors from The Novel, Jordan and Caprice. Thank you both for joining me. The first thing we should do is definitely introduce your movie and yourselves. So since your director is not here, I will introduce it. The Novel is you know what? I'm not even sure how to describe it. I literally watched it. We ended this about 6 minutes ago. They hung out graciously while we did that, and it was a phenomenal film. It was probably I hate to have to play favorites or anything like that. It's definitely one of the best films I've seen at this festival so far, and I've seen quite a few films at this festival. And one of the things I do is I try to avoid reading the synopsis or watching the trailer and just say, cool, let me watch the film, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know what I'm getting into. And it was in one of those, it's to say delightful doesn't, I mean, the film is not a positive, happy film, but it was a delightful film to watch. So thank you for your performances in that. And yeah. So I'll try to describe it. The Novel is a dark, it's not exactly noir. It is black and white, but I think it's its own. There's a level of thriller to it and mystery and nuance. And yes.
LA-based neo-noir.
LA-based neo-noir.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll go with that then. So The Novel is an LA-based neo-noir. It was extremely, extremely good. I highly recommend watching it. And with that, we'll have you two introduce yourselves. Caprice.
Hello, my name is Caprice Colvin, and I'm a lead actor in The Novel, and I also co-produced it.
Awesome.
together.
Jordan.
And my name is Jordan Knapp. I'm an actor in The Novel and also co-produced the film as well.
I like how you both are like, I'm an actor, and I'm like, these are the 2 stars. They're 90% of the film. So I would ask certain things, and I'll be adjusting today because we usually have the director with us, which totally understandable. So I'll do a little bit of adjusting to like, what should I ask instead of that? But
You can hit us with those.
And I'll do that. But how did this film come to be? You were one of the producers, so you know a little bit more about it. Who wrote it? The writing was absolutely phenomenal. Are you familiar with the writer?
So that is Kellen.
Kellen directed and wrote. Okay.
Kellen is a beast when it comes to writing, for sure. So me and him, he came to CineQuest before with his first feature.
Okay.
And literally right before that, we meet up for coffee like once a week all the time and just talk about film. And we were thinking about this idea of, well, not an idea, but we're tired of waiting for the opportunity for people to give us.
As many actors and directors run into.
Exactly. So he was off the steam of his first feature. He got into CineQuest, and then come to CineQuest, engaged that and energized it. So we got back every week. We met up, start talking about the film, start talking about what we're going to do with it, what we want to accomplish with the resources that we have and whatnot. Because I mean, film making is expensive.
Yes, it is.
So we decided off rip to go black and white. So he designed the film to be a noir from the beginning. So that way we're not just shooting something and turning it black and white just to do it.
I will say one of our previous ones, Remember Me Always, was an Argentinian film noir that I got to have them on the podcast here. They were the last one we just did, and I will contrast. Your film is definitely a much more modern noir. One of the things I mentioned in their film is that it was so specifically noir. It was noir. It was the kind of noir that I watched and I went, if I did not know any better, I would have thought this was just a film from the 40s that somebody had handed to me. It was so meticulous and deliberate with everything, and it was such a contrast from what we normally see. One of the phrases I said was, modern noirs often are like an homage to noir as opposed to an actual noir. And I kept watching your film saying, it's got a lot of noir qualities to it, but it doesn't feel like it's trying to be noir. It feels like it's its own thing, which is why I had a little bit of trouble describing it. How did you settle on that feel for this? I mean, you just talked a little bit about it, the budget and that sort of thing. But what was the impetus for that other than budget?
Well, for one, I don't want to say that because I would have don't know what. But
yeah, we'll avoid spoilers as best as can.
Forensic.
Okay. But just the idea of where we wanted to go with the characters.
Yeah.
And it plays a role in that to a certain extent. I can't really touch on that part where I already want to go with it.
The idea of having a detective and a femme fatale was a strong strong pillars for that.
Yeah. And we had, I've been knowing Jordan forever. So we already knew who we were going to have in place with certain things. And as I stated before, we wanted to use the resources that we had. Kellen pretty much uses his girlfriend's ex-apartment with it. And it's like all very limited locations and whatnot. And it just feels very intimate.
That was the word I was about to use. It gives you such an intimate, almost claustrophobic feel to it that I really felt played very, very strong in that film.
To speak to the intimacy maybe a little bit more. This was a very homegrown film. This was all friends that were working in. We were calling it a lot of favors as well, but we definitely, where we lacked in money for production, we made up for production value by working in it.
Well, I think, as you mentioned, that you were looking for an opportunity. You had to make your own opportunity. One of the fascinating things about this to me was I wouldn't have thought that. I didn't know that about this film. This felt like a very, very high production value, and I think more importantly, extremely high performance level. You two are amazing on camera, and I know that I'm sure other people have said that. I'll say to the audience, seriously, go watch this film if you want to see powerful performances. There is no slop in this film. Like the other film noir we discussed, there's a deliberation to everything, the writing, but not just writing. You know that writing is only as good as the people who perform, and I think vice versa, the performance is only as good as the writing. Exactly. So to see those two marry so well in this film and carry these small scenes, these, there's not a lot of action, if any at all. I mean, there is a gunshot or two in here, to not give much away, but it's really based on being in the moment with these people, on the emotional roller coaster, I think. And how did you two prepare for that?
With me, personally, I watched a lot of films just to get an idea of where I wanted to go with the character. Different approaches that I had from class and picking and choosing, like how deep you want to go with what you're doing for the most part. And we met up all the time and rehearsed. So like being theater, like you rehearse. And I think that played a huge. It's all about preparation at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, and with us being lucky enough to be co-producers on it as well, we were along that journey the whole way. So
yeah,
I don't want to say it wasn't hard to do, but at the same time, when you had that much time to prep and things like that, when you show up on the day, it's time to go.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's filmmaking, right? For those who don't understand or from outside of it or who are just winging it, film is all about preparation. Even in this day of fancy effects and AI and all that fun stuff, the better the film is. I think films are better when more prep is done. The ones that I've directed are the last ones we did a couple of years ago. We had intimacy tests with our subjects to make sure we got the right male and female character for the scene. We did rehearsal after rehearsal, some over Zoom, some in person, and it was teasing out those performances before the performances happened. It's that, prep before you go, then prep some more afterwards, and then go again, right? Jordan.
Yeah, in terms of my preparation, it was also watching films, kind of getting a better understanding of the femme fatale archetype.
Yeah.
And I definitely have a lot of parts of my life that overlap with Jane, the loss of a loved one, doing improv as well, being an actor.
That seemed pretty natural.
Yes, I'm glad. Okay. But yeah, being an actor, playing an actor is always a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Well, and so that's something I wanted to talk about too, right? This is a film about a guy who's a writer, who's writing a novel about a film with actors playing actors. And it did not feel meta in that way that I hate to call out some of the other people who don't necessarily make the best film in the world, but there's a lot of people out there who are like, I'm writing a novel about a writer, I'm writing a film about a writer, about a filmmaker, and it gets very cheesy or it gets very meta, and I felt that it just played so naturally through this process.
That's Kellen.
Things I wish we could talk to him about. But in fact, actually, did I recall that he wanted to maybe call in briefly?
He wanted
just
to
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Too hard now, 'cause he has to.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
All right, let's try it. Let me see.
Thank you. Kellen is en route to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. We're going to see, though, if maybe the Wi-Fi works on the plane. That could be pretty soon.
Oh, is he actually on the plane?
He might be now.
Okay, if he's in the airport, maybe. I don't know if he'll be able to do it from the plane, unless he's on one of those fancy planes.
We'll see. Yeah, he's going over there with his girlfriend.
Going on.
Yeah, he might be cached.
All right, now
don't worry about it.
Later.
Uh-huh.
We'll definitely send him, we'll send him a link. So I would ask how, other than just lavishing praise on that aspect of the film, how do we get to a film about a writer that's not overly self-indulgent in this case? And I think, again, not giving it away. Oh, is he calling back?
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. There we go.
He's going to be so excited.
Yo, what up, man?
Live from LAX.
With the
I'm going to show him for you.
Hey. How you doing? Oh, there we go.
There we go.
How you doing, Kellen? I was just lavishing you and the film and the star performers here with just way too much praise, and it's like gumming up my ability to ask amazing questions about how the film was made, just because I literally finished watching it not 5 minutes before they got here, but after they got here. And they sat with me patiently while the last 15 minutes of the film went through. And I had to tell you, you'll hear more about it when you actually listen to the podcast, but that was a fantastic film, meticulous in many ways. It hit so many notes, and your performances were amazing. The writing was amazing. And I know you've heard this from other people, but we'll dive in here. Is there anything while you're here with us, and I know you're in the airport getting ready to jump on the plane, is there anything you want to say on microphone to the audience, perhaps,
Camera and the microphone at the
about
bottom.
your journey through this process?
Yeah, I love that we ended up working with these two actors. Like Jordan and Reese are just incredible. I kind of think that the movie sits and lies on their shoulders, and without them, I don't know. Not because they're just in the room, but generally, like, they are just incredible actors, and they did an awesome job, like, taking this idea that Caprice and I started developing and just kind of running away with it, you know. So it's just awesome, and I think like I'm really sad I can't be there, so I apologize that I'm not there. But like I'm happy that they're there to represent the film. And they are in the film, you know. It's just the two of them for like pretty much 82 minutes. And, like,
a little poke here and there, right?
Just an incredible job. Yeah, just a couple people pop in, but it's like it sits on their shoulders, and I think they're just awesome. So thank you guys. Thanks Chris for the interview. I appreciate you ringing up for the like last minute. And I'm glad you enjoyed the film, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, take care. Enjoy your flight, and we'll get the link to you so you can take a look at this later. And I look forward to seeing whatever comes next.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.
Good luck at LAX, Kelly.
See you, homie.
That's hysterical.
I also wanted to plug Simon as well because it scored.
Yes. Okay. As we've said, every element of this was amazing. So let's talk about that for a sec. Did you I mean, as a co-producer, you're probably not as much involved maybe in the creative side, but were you involved in getting that score or finding the composer?
No. So that was Kellen. Kellen has been knowing him for years, but they've never gotten to work with each other.
Gotcha.
And while we were doing this, after he wrote the script, he sent Simon a copy of it.
Yeah.
And he was on it like that. And what you hear in there already, he had already came up with the idea to have that tone.
Okay.
So it wasn't even like too much shot.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it obviously, but he already had a great idea of where to go with it.
Yeah.
And I was blown away when I first heard the first clip that he sent us.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, that's it.
I mean, it set, I think with something else that came up in one of the other podcasts was that music plays not just an important part to a large degree. Music makes or breaks a film, right? The soundtrack, the score. In fact, I actually think that was the other film noir that we were talking about that in. And especially here, the tone was so consistent throughout. It kept you in this, it kept you in an energy level and kind of an emotional level that was with everyone the whole way through. There was no comedy in this. There was no, despite the stage performance being a comedy stage performance. And actually I'd love to jump to that for a sec. That was one of the things that jumped out at me was your code switching there as an actor. You're on stage at a point, you're playing an improv role as the actor your character is, and something triggers you, and you jump immediately into a frantic, almost anxiety, panic, moment there. How did you do that? Like, obviously practice, but like, tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, I'm an improviser myself, so that was very close to my home. And I had a lovely scene partner, Luke Sweeney, and we do improv together. And Kellen was unsure what to do with the scene overall, so we were kind of massaging it out, trying different beats, and we ended up improvising that scene for the most part.
I was wondering.
In rehearsals. Yeah, we had tried it a couple of different ways, and we realized, like we keep talking about homages to noir, we realized a transatlantic accent would be a way to sneak that in there. But yeah, and just discovering the beats of the scene. I mean, for me, a big pillar of improv is a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
A conflict resolution. And so we were able to find that within the scene and including Calvin in on that, bringing him into the scene, literally. And it just made for such a fun experience to explore.
Awesome. Caprice, your character is there's a lot of layers to your character. And a lot of this centers around the relationship with his mother. Was there anything in your life that you drew from for that?
Imagination.
Okay.
Because the picture in there is my mom's. It's actually my high school picture. And I asked her for permission first.
Okay.
Okay. Like, I'm not about to just do this without getting her consent. But she was on board the whole way, for real. And it's so different because, like, it was just using all imagination, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't imagine dealing with that.
Yeah.
Realistically. So that's where I've stemmed it from. Ultimately, put myself through the strife of dealing with that in the moment, but I think it shows well on the screen.
It came across very well. Yeah, I would have thought that maybe there was some personal tragedy you were drawing from or something like that, but no.
Yeah.
Good to know.
That was research.
Thank God. I just had another one, and it fluttered away. Give me 1 second. I will draw it right back. Okay, yeah. So, other projects. Have you guys ever done a project like this before? Have you been on a set like this where you had to play a character like this before?
I've definitely never done something like this. I do a lot of independent films, I'll say. So, the environment was very familiar.
Sure.
But to be fortunate enough to be one of 2 leads in a film that gets a majority percentage of the screen time was just such a delight.
Yeah.
And to be in such a great company with everything was awesome.
I haven't. In class, you play characters who are torn or whatever, but
sure.
Maybe not to this extent. I haven't. Yeah. This is my first feature that I've been able to lead in general, and
congrats.
It was some work, but it was fun the whole time. Like, we had a great time on set. So
that's it when you look at filmmaking in general, I think project of any kind, but at filmmaking, I think one of the things that can cause a film to be bad is bad set etiquette, bad set tone, not having the right crew to work with. So I think for that to come off the way it did, it must have been the right people. And you guys did mention it's kind of a love of labor or labor of love with your friends. Was this the world premiere?
It's not the world premiere,
okay,
but it was the NorCal.
the San Jose premiere.
We did one in Hollywood, but other than that one, this is.
We premiered at the 2025 NoHo Cinefest, which we were fortunate enough to win Best Picture at.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. And then we did have a family and friends screening at a Regal Cinema, which was really cool as well.
All right. Well, what's next for you guys then? Let's start with the film. Where else is this going? This is going to other festivals, I take it.
We haven't really thought about other festivals too much.
Okay.
We're trying to find distribution. We had talked with a few people right now, so that's more of the direction we're trying to go.
Okay.
Maybe even limited screenings at certain places.
Okay. You're thinking, maybe a theatrical run. I feel like having just watched it, unfortunately, on my TV instead of in the theater where I should have been, it was, and I do this. I've got the nice sound set up and a big screen in here, so I can kind of get there. But this is the kind of film that you definitely should see in theaters. So I do hope that we do get to have a limited theater run, a theatrical run. But other than that, distribution sounds like this is exactly where this film should go. So excited. Audience, hopefully you'll be able to watch this on, dare I say it, Netflix or Amazon Prime or one of those, hopefully sometime in the next year or two. It'd be fantastic to hear that. So I'll keep in touch with you guys about that. So the film, we'll see where that goes. How about you guys? What's coming up next? Have you been able to leverage this into some cool roles on anything else, or just, auditioning for more stuff?
Well, that's the goal, hopefully, to be able to leverage it. Just since we're so early in the process of trying to get it distributed and stuff, can't really show too many people or expose too much about it yet.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
That's part of the goal, realistically, to see if you get work begets work.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Yeah. So, but right now I'm still auditioning for things and still that grind that's always going to be there. And then me and Kellen, we actually are working on something else. So,
is it also film noir?
It's not.
No. Okay.
And then it's going to be a lot lighter too.
Okay.
It's still going to have its moments, but it's going to be lighter than this one.
I definitely like the weight of this one.
I do want to plug, Kellen's got a couple of projects cooking, and if you liked this film, you're going to love what he's got coming next. Very cool. Go talk to him.
Awesome. So I'll back it up because I always start doing this where I'm like, I have other questions, and before we, I'm like aiming at the end already, and I'm like, no, okay. So I have another couple of questions. One of them was, I overheard you talking a little bit about growing out the hair and the beard and whatnot for this. Was that a decision that you made on your own, like creating the character? Where did Where did that come from? Was that a conversation between you and Kellen, or was it just something that you were like, this is how this guy is?
That was both of us.
Okay.
So when we were planning this character out in general, or the film in general, we knew this person had to be distraught.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Okay.
And I'm like, dang, that means I'm gonna have to grow my hair off. How do you? He's like, yep. So I ended up, we went to NoHo Cinefest last year for his film, and after that, because I wanted to be clean at least for that.
Yeah.
After that, I just started growing it out for about 8 months.
Yeah.
Before we started shooting.
Okay.
And then I was itching to do it. He like, wait, just make sure we got all the shots first before you cut that off. But it was a process.
Yeah.
It was definitely a process. But you have to, like, I had to though.
Yeah.
Because the way I look now would not portray Calvin in a proper way.
No, Calvin was a distressed person. He clearly lives alone and doesn't necessarily, I think as your character even points out, like doesn't take care of himself very well. And he's got that angsty writer complex, and the visual of that I think has to come through as well, and it definitely did. You guys prepared for 8 months for this, or how long did it take to actually film?
I think 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our first week was all overnights, which was nuts. But it brought us all closer together, and it made the other week and a half, 2 weeks easier to just push on through.
Very cool. So a lot of overnights there, because this is almost entirely at night, is it not? I mean, there's a handful of scenes that were kind of in the day. In terms of filming, obviously that comes into play, the black and white. Was there, how did you guys do? I want to ask all these technical questions, like how did you do with the lighting for that, and do you guys know anything about that side of it?
That's Marty.
Okay.
Marty Munoz.
Are very, very good. We didn't have a lot of material either, and you would not get that from the way that looked. So the way he lit that, dealt with the contrast. I don't know.
We did a camera test before.
We did do a camera test.
Because we were testing specifically for different levels of black and white to play with, what would read best on camera.
Yeah.
And also shout out Chase Okimura of Mura Lighting, who provided all of our lighting equipment.
Awesome.
And that was a big feat, was learning how to do it, because it's not something that everyone's doing nowadays, black and white, but it was fun.
Well, speaking of which, because as you mentioned, black and white isn't just simply turning down the saturation. Like there's a process that goes into that, and I'm assuming makeup came into play there. One of the things that the other noir talked about was the fact that if you looked at the set in the normal light, everything was all sorts of random colors, and it would look bizarre and weird. Like how did that play with you guys? Was the outfits weird? Was the makeup change off? Or?
We had no makeup.
No makeup.
It was me. Yeah.
Okay.
It was me. It was bare bones, but also that was a discussion we had before. Kellen liked a little oil on the skin, to see those scratches, see those natural blemishes and whatnot. I had actually done the blood mark for Calvin, and I think also, do you know the name of that thrift store that we got all the clothes from?
I don't know. Yeah. So even with the clothes, we were just out finding it, and Calvin actually looks different when we originally planned him than how he turns out.
Okay.
Because we had him as this guy in this leather jacket that's on on a search or whatever, the typical noir things. And then me and Kellen, we went to the thrift store and found the coat he pretty much wears in there. I'm like, that's him. It's weird how you can just find something and you find the character right there in that moment.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And just went right with it.
So over the course of this, your character largely, if I recall correctly, kind of wears the same thing over and over and over again. Your character has a couple of outfit changes. Was that, obviously there's a deliberation there, but how did you figure out which outfits to change into? Was it just a Kellen thing, or was it?
Fantastic question, because that was a really difficult point for us to figure out. I think Jane overall had 3 or 4 outfits.
Okay.
And we had sat through, I think it was a lot of Kellen, honestly, just planning it out.
Yeah.
But sitting through and realizing which shirt, which day, we overlapped a lot of the same outfits with same shirt with a different pair of pants.
Yeah.
Also the jacket I got from the same store that he had gotten his jacket at, and it ended up being the perfect one.
Awesome. Yeah. Something else I was thinking about, like a total change of venue for this, the detective aspect of it. There was a detective in there, and it played, but it honestly, I was already looking at our main character Calvin, right? He's like the writer / detective, so there was like overlap between the fact that the main character, like, oh god, I was almost going to do a spoiler there, sorry, but
conflict in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's detecting, and then the detective is detecting as well. And I loved kind of how that overlap came together. Were you involved in that decision process, or how to make that happen?
It's hard to answer that question without going too deep into it, but it was planned from the beginning.
Okay.
Like to engage the audience in that way.
Yeah.
It is very intentional. That's the thing. Like everything in this film is intentional.
Yeah.
Me and Kellen talking about it every week. He'll come with pages every week, and we just went along the way, the whole way, and made sure everything was very specific.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
And also, I just want to say, because we're talking about him, shout out to our detective, Diego Medellin. He's a fantastic actor. He's based out of Mexico. We all went to college with him.
Oh, nice.
And he flew out just to do the movie, and he was perfect for the part.
He did a great job. I mean, every single character, even the minor characters. I think there's a voiceover at one point that you just hear somebody say something. Maybe it was the father, and then eventually you see the father, something like that.
Richard Neal, also fantastic.
Did a great job. Oh, so that reminds me of another thing I wanted to ask you about. So there is some domestic violence aspect to this. I've seen a couple of these films, and I've had these conversations a couple of times when somebody's had to deal with or had to run in with domestic violence. Was there anything about that scene that you felt like, did you and the other actor prepare for that together? Did you go over things?
Yeah, definitely big discussions beforehand. Yeah. And thankfully, I've worked with Richard before. Richard's a wonderful, very giving actor. And he frequently collaborates with Kellen as well.
Yeah.
And so we already had a familiarity with each other. So we were able to be comfortable with each other in this very scary environment right away.
Yeah.
And acting opposite of him is just, it's like water. Like he just stepped on set and he was drunk.
Oh man,
it was fascinating.
That's fantastic.
But because we had that comfort and that trust within each other already, it made everything else so much easier.
Yeah. So speaking of the violence as well, the gun scene, was that just a prop gun? Was there a blank involved in that?
No, that was a prop gun.
It was a prop gun.
Completely a prop gun.
It looks so real. When you fire it was. Hope that doesn't give anything away. The gun gets fired a couple of times, but yeah, I would have. I mean, and I have worked with a prop master for a very long time, a gentleman that works up here, supplies a lot of firearms and military and police uniforms and things like that. And so I've definitely fired a lot of blank firing guns, and I would not have thought that was, a lot of people put in that kind of that terrible After Effects flash, or the actor doesn't react quite the way you react when you're actually firing guns. So I was fooled.
We had a wonderful VFX supervisors out of Turkey, and they've also frequently collaborated with Kellen. But I think the real special part of that was to create the blood.
Yeah.
When it's necessary. Yeah.
Well done.
There we go.
Great. Well, I know we're coming up here on my time, so let's move to the last parts of this. We know that you guys are moving on, looking at other things, doing other projects. Actually, you're both out of LA. Mm-hmm. Okay. What brought you to LA? Are you? I think you said you're from up here. Are you from?
I'm from Michigan.
Michigan. Okay. How did you guys get to LA?
You want to take this?
Yeah.
I'll go. So I came out here for acting specifically, but not necessarily just to become famous. It was more of for schooling, because while being in Michigan, there's some great studios, but I'm like, I want to go with the where is that? If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. So I came out here and went to the New York Film Academy.
Very cool.
And just been grinding and working ever since when it comes to classes and things like that.
Yeah.
So ultimately what brought me out here was obviously the industry, but it's because I knew it was a place where I can find the proper training for it as well.
Yeah, and be surrounded by it, right? I mean, I think it's one of the biggest things. Yeah, be immersed in it. So.
And I was born in Sacramento. I had moved around a bunch growing up, mainly on the West Coast and in the South. I graduated high school in Houston.
Oh, wow.
And knew I wanted to make my way back to California. I applied to UCLA, USC, and Chapman. Did not get into any of them. And then someone who had written me a letter of recommendation suggested I look at the New York Film Academy of Los Angeles. And if I did not go there, I would not be sitting on this couch right here, right now, today. And I knew I wanted to act, but then going to NYFA really solidified that. And being in Kellen's thesis film, which was The Moment I Was Alone, was the big solidifier in my brain of like, oh, I think I could actually like do this. Like this could be the life, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys have been working with Kellen for a long time. Sounds like you're in his thesis film, which of course is like essentially the first film he's done.
You got to look up what he did in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Notes for my homework for myself here. Okay. Well, that speaks volumes. Being able to work with the same team for a really long time. Some of the other films that I've gotten to sit on the couch with me over the last couple of years, that seems to have been a thread for a lot of people is. Going to hilariously going to New York for school together and then becoming a team afterwards. I think working with people who you can rely on and people that you're comfortable with and familiar with is a huge part of this industry.
I think it's from the bottom to the top. It's the similar thread that goes through. Like the director always works with the same DP or the same producers, or you just get like a comfortability that makes everything flow easier.
Yeah. Having that team. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Is having a solid team in place where people you can got your back with stuff and you can trust, because that's a huge thing when it comes to especially directors for the most part. You want to be able to trust your director, and luckily me and Kellen, we homies like that, so I trust him with anything. If he tell me he needs something, boom, we here.
Shout out Priscilla's Coffee. That's where these guys are.
Every week. Yeah. They're talking movies. Just this industry, like we live and breathe this industry for real.
Wow. Well, I think that's a lot of what it takes. And just another anecdote on that. One of the other filmmakers, actually from New York, was telling me that was she was an actor. She didn't want to be a director, but this other friend of hers asked her to do it, and she can never say no to this other friend. And she goes, just anytime this person asks me to do something, I'm just like, okay. And I think that speaks again. So a last thing I like to do here is, we have a lot of filmmakers that watch this. I'm sure friends and family as well, for sure, but definitely a lot of other filmmakers, aspiring filmmakers, professional filmmakers. So I'd like to ask if you have any advice for other filmmakers out there about how to get their projects done, or just how to go about being a better filmmaker.
Just working. Honestly, I think the best. Work hard, watch movies, because if you're trying to be a filmmaker, you have to know movies. You would be surprised how many directors I've talked to that don't watch movies. I think that makes sense.
One of my first films, just to slightly interject, one of my first films, we were having a meeting discussion early on, and we all were doing a little roundtable, like, hey, so what kind of films does everyone like to watch? Let's just kind of get to know each other. And we get to one guy who was one of the producers, and he goes, I don't like to watch other films because I don't want it to influence the way I make my films. And we all just kind of looked at each other like, what?
That's all this is.
I mean, one of my biggest vices is that I can't stop watching films and movies and just absorbing it. So absolutely great advice. Jordan.
I love this question because it's like it gets thrown around so much in conversation, and like I've really had to solidify an answer for it. I would say do everything. As an actor, do every single project that comes your way, because you never know what's going to come out, when it's going to come out, if it's going to come out.
Fantastic, wise words from both of you. Thank you both for being here with me today. This was a rousing conversation, and oh my God, I'm just going to keep saying it. That was such a good film. I really now want to go see this in the theaters. I really hope it comes out I hope it does a theatrical run before we go to streaming, but I have a strong feeling that someone's going to pick up this film. So if you haven't seen it yet, Look for it on the festival circuit as soon as you can. If it's off the festival circuit, look for it probably on a streaming platform coming to you soon. My guests today, Jordan and Caprice of the film The Novel. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
This has been another episode of The Shortcut Podcast. If you're listening early enough, you can find Kellen Gibbs' The Novel playing on the festival circuit. And if it's been a while since you tuned in, you may instead be looking for The Novel on your favorite streaming platform. I'd like to thank our friends at Cinequest for providing us with the opportunity to bring you this episode, and I'd like to thank you, the audience, for tuning in. You can find more about the festival at cinequest.org and on their social channels of the same name. My name is Christopher Lee Denise. You can find me on Instagram as @LocalCinematic and @TheShortcutPod, on YouTube as The Local Cinematic, and in real life, wherever great films are being screened. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.